Now, there's a word that was used in one of these articles that I came across,
Yes, sir.
and I wanted to look up the etymology. Well, I ain't gonna look. I just something malleable describes something that can be easily shaped, pressed, or adapted.
Hmm.
So that's what the colonial structure wanted to do. They wanted to make Africa malleable so they could take the resources.
Hmm.
You understand? But Africa's not malleable. So why? So my question is, so this brings me to my questions, right? Were the original for well first well we gonna go to the root of a lot of these uh the root of Africa, in my opinion. Were the original people of the world heavily melanated according to science? That's a question for you.
Oh, say it again, big brother. I'm sorry.
Were the original people of the world heavily melanated according to science?
Science. I know they're saying Ethiopia is the oldest civilization. It's in Ethiopia was the oldest civilization. Um.
Well, you
These.
you 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 don't have to answer it according to science. I mean, you
Yes,
can
sir.
answer it. You can answer it according to. You can just say, I mean, were the original people of the world heavily melanated, and leave it right there.
Okay.
You don't even got to be
Um.
according to science. I mean, you know.
Yes. You like to fact check me. Um, you like to fact check me on that. I wanted to. We were speaking on tribalism. I do think that the original people, the gatekeeper of this world was heavily melanated. I do think that.
Okay, and there's a reason why I asked that question because it's going to lead. A lot of these articles when it comes to if you just do research and you look up how the original people look, even if you say well the original people heavy melanated and had kinky hair,
Mm-hmm.
it'll give you a long list of answers of reasonable scientific data that suggests yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those people stem from where? Africa,
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of the resources are. So I just that's just like the foundational groundwork to where we lead up to to the other questions. How did colonialism affect the tribal culture of Africa? Right? And so I
I,
can answer that. I can answer that question first. And the reason why I'm gonna answer the question first is because I have some information here
and
about
after you give your and after you make your point, I just want to piggyback off your point as well in regards to what you're saying right now.
absolutely. So I have a article on thinkafrica.net. Who owns Africa's wealth? The struggle for control over mineral rich lands. So for centuries, the ground beneath Africa's feet has been the source of unimaginable wealth: gold, cobalt, diamonds, oil. But the more important question is who owns this wealth? Is it the indigenous communities who have lived on these lands for millennia? The national governments who claim sovereignty? The multinational corporations who bring financial backing and technology? Or the militias who have the guns to enforce control? The
Mm,
truth is more complicated because the modern battle over Africa's minerals didn't start today. It's the direct result of a colonial economic model inherited and maintained by many African states after independence. Africa's To understand today's conflicts over who controls Africa's resources, we must first understand how they were taken in the first place. The Great Theft, how
mm-hmm,
colonialism weaponized land and resources. The so-called scramble for Africa in between the 1880s and 1914 was not a race to govern, it was a race to loot. European powers carved up the continent like a corporate boardroom, dividing assets, each one wanting the best land, the most minerals, and the cheapest labor. So now I'm gonna stop right there. So
mm-hmm,
when you look at that information right there, you begin to see that there's a lot of colonial powers that began to strip Africa of its resources and wealth.
mm-hmm,
What we need to get down to, right? Because I know the question was how did colonialism affect the tribal culture of Africa? So
mm-hmm.
now we need to get down to the reason being of how we need to get down to the reason being of I mean, I kind of already answered this question before when I was talking about tribalism in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
where I started to discuss how in Africa, how colonialism was used to divide many ethnic groups of people, and they were able to use those certain divisions and ethnic groups to begin to control the resources. And
Mm-hmm.
just like we just read in that article, it was treated like a boardroom where they wanted these assets, those assets. And it was almost like a auctioning off in a way,
Mm-hmm.
of who's gonna have this part of the land and that part of the land. And we began to realize and discover that a lot of these tribal unities was used against the African people to take the wealth. And it's still being utilized today, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
how can you remotely, yo, what's good? How can you remotely control? How can you remotely control something where you're not even the majority in, right? And then we begin
Mm-hmm.
to like again, like we was talking about how European Christianity came in, but it was already
Mm-hmm.
Christianity there in Africa already. But how is it that they took this European ideology and Christianity and began to loot the resources through that commonwealth that was in Africa? How did they divide that and begin
Mm-hmm.
to strip that and take that within themselves? And not just directly, but remotely. How could you send people in remotely and do that? Yo, what's up? So what we
What's going on,
begin to
family? Mm-hmm.
what we begin to understand is there's a extreme economic foundation in Africa, and that African foundation is honed in a lot of minerals, a lot of oil, a lot of diamonds, a lot of gold, but it's not even owned by the very people that are indigenous to the land. Not the massive, maybe the I'm not sure about the vast majority of the ownership, but I know that I believe the vast majority of the ownership needs to belong to the indigenous crowd. Well, the indigenous people that stay there. What's your thoughts on that, brother?
I want to say a few things. I was just looking up something else, but give me a minute. But I want to say you speaking about colonialism and Kwame Nkrumah, one of his one of his core beliefs was talking about anti-imperialism and anti-neo-colonialism. He actively opposed foreign exploitation of African resources. We talking about in the 1950s and the 1960s when he was running in power, speaking his rhetoric. All right, he said exploitation of African resources. Kwame warned that while former colonies had gained political independence, Western corporate interests and financial dominance continued to exploit local uh, e- e- economics. One second, and let's go. Uh, Anti-neocolonialism. Resist. Term definition: resist the indirect control of developing nation through global capitalism, debt, and cultural influence rather than direct military rule. Rather than force, they rule. Rather than force, they rule with the dollar. To counter it, movements advocate for resources sovereignty, fair trade, and dismantling structural dependencies enforced by organizations like the World Trade Organization and internal monetary funds. That's from Encyclopedia Britanniae. That's what this article came from. But um we see that to this very day. Like we see that to this very day. We speaking of Africa, the majority of Africa look like you and I. And regardless on because me and you, we researched, I think it was yesterday or before yesterday, we researched and I believe I'm misquoting. Don't quote to me. I believe it was like 4 or 5 Africans in Africa, 4 or 5 billionaires that living in Africa. The richest one I think was 23 or 26 billion. How 26 billion in Africa. Um so the point ain't about I don't think it's about resources, well natural resources, because we know uh colonialism controlled most of the natural resources in Africa to this very day. I want to say to the folks, this ain't me preaching or advocating racism. This is me sitting stating obvious that you and I know from a while back. But it's not be able to hold, and the minority is controlling most of the wealth, most of the resources in this country. I do believe that play a huge factor in terms of the developing in Africa today. That's probably might be one of the reasons why Africa don't unite, because we have an ego pissing contest going on, and it's all about self in terms of I can push my ideologies overstate your ideologies, or my personal belief, my focus, my morals, my belief system in terms of spirituality, that plays a factor as well. We speak on tribalism. We talk about tribalism as well. But speaking on neo-colonialism, I feel like that's it's remnants. It's still remnants that's actively still right in Africa right now, showing you a lot of separatism. Like
Yeah,
you want to say something?
yeah, I do. So, well, the thing about it is, I don't know. Me personally, I don't know how much from the stuff that I've been reading. I don't know how much ego is involved. It may be a certain level of ego involved, but we have to really look at. This is my opinion. We have to really look at, like, how those different land masses were divided into its colonial structure to begin against
Of
a
course.
certain level of colonialism, which in return is not just war on the people but war on the land to get those minerals. And a lot of those people, I believe a lot of times it's set into belief, and your belief,
Mm-hmm.
I guess your belief can be a subconscious ego with how you think and how you
Mm-hmm.
believe. And a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
they have a Christian doctrine in their mind. Now, if you already have a Christian doctrine in your mind, and then here comes a European philosophy of Christianity, and it's enforced and it's pushed on you with warring efforts, and then you're able to come in and strip the land of certain resources. We have to really begin to dig deeper and dive deeper into the conversation to see exactly where this thought process began to develop. And does it
Mm-hmm.
necessarily does it develop from an ego, or does it develop from a forced religious ideology where people began to come in to strip they wanted to come in to strip the resources and basically leave a clothed land naked. It's like me going to
Mm-hmm.
somebody's house and taking all their clothes, and then they leave the house naked, and then I tell them, well, it wasn't me that took your clothes. It was your neighbor, and the neighbor don't even have clothes, but the clothes belong to them. you know and they were stripped.
Mm-hmm.
They were stripped of wealth, and I believe they were stripped.
Right.
I believe they were stripped of
I
their
want to
wealth
add. I want to
through religious ideology. Go ahead.
And I want to add too, Christianity get a lot of backlash too, as in Africa, right? I don't. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not. So was Islam. Islam was forced too upon Africa as well. Christianity and Islam is the two most influential religious groups in Africa. Christianity get a lot of flame, but so was Islam was forced on in the culture of Africa as well.
Well, the thing about it
Can't leave that
is,
one.
no. Well, the thing about it is, Christianity was in Africa before colonialism, according to my research. I don't know how true that is, but according to my research, it was already there. And a lot of, I believe, Moors who were Muslim brought a lot of the Muslim doctrine to Africa as well. Like the northern Africans, who are a lot of Moors, they had a lot of that. They had a lot of that religiosity as well. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know I don't know how forced it was, but I believe a lot of the doctrines of Christianity, which is European Christianity, I believe that doctrine was forced,
Mm-hmm.
where you have your count, your whitewashing of Christianity, because the original
Mm-hmm.
Christianity,
Conditioning.
the ori-
Conditioning.
right, the original Christianity.
Conditioning.
Look, why you keep saying conditioning?
No, you saying whitewashing, conditioning of the minds.
Right. Oh, got you. So a lot of the original Christianity were of heavy melanated people in Africa, you know,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
they like to make these distinctions of the Middle Eastern people in Africa. Middle Eastern people were just as dark skinned and had just as much kinky
Mhm.
hair as Africans because it was
Mhm.
really no separation until
Mhm.
later colonial powers began to make that
Mhm.
separation. So a lot of the
Mhm.
Middle Eastern people, maybe a lot of Middle Eastern people do have like straighter hair, but that doesn't mean they don't have the
Mhm.
complexion. They don't have the complexion of Wesley
Mhm.
Snipes, you know.
Yes. Yes.
And I use
Yes.
Wesley
Yes.
Snipes as a reference because it's one of my best favorite actors, you know. But
Nah, what it
go
is
ahead.
colorism. That's what his brother. I spreading a little colorism because he's a little fairer than Wesley Snipes. You know, I'm kind of closer to him in terms of complexion.
No, Wesley Snipes is one of my favorite actors, and the heavy melanated people are the original people. And terms like
Mm-hmm.
fair and all that stuff like that
Yes.
stem from a racial stigma to put lighter
Mm-hmm.
skinned people at the top and to put heavy melanated
Yes, sir.
people at the bottom, which
More
is not
whitewashing.
well, whitewashing to me is a different, that's like, there's subtopics to certain racial levels, and I believe
Yes.
whitewashing is kind of like a different subtopic. But using the term fair
Mm-hmm.
skinned, if you do if you look at the definition of fair skinned, it'll it'll say beautiful or something like that. They'll consider my complexion more beautiful than heavy melanated people, which is furthest from the truth when the original people were heavy melanated, which all people came out of. So that that beautiful dark chocolate complexion, which a lot of which our
Yes.
ancestors came out of. So that
Mm-hmm.
complexion is beautiful. I'm not saying my complexion isn't beautiful. What I'm saying is that that complexion, that the heavy melanated complexion is the original complexion, and we all need to honor that complexion. And and
Yes, sir.
basically, and that's another thing, the colorism. Colorism. I'm the only one in here, man. That's fine. I I can understand.
Welcome,
I could I
Grayson.
uh, uh,
Welcome,
I could
Grayson.
I could understand if you said that and we had like 100,000 followers, but you know, you being the only one in here and we have 80 subscribers, that's very normal.
Mm-hmm.
Can you read the comment before that? It was after something I said. I don't know. I'm the only one in here, man. I
I
don't
don't think you
fucking know.
said anything.
Yeah, it don't matter. I'm wondering if you saw it. No, I didn't see it. I don't. We don't see it. But anyway,
Didn't say nothing.
about.
Grayson ain't said
But
nothing.
anyway, here's the next question: Why is Africa the most resourceful continent, but is not controlled by the original Africans? But I should have said this. I should have said, why is Africa the most
Mm-hmm.
resourceful continent, but it is not controlled by
Yes, sir.
only heavy melanated Africans, by only the original African people. Why
Mm-hmm.
would have that many resources and it's being shared amongst the world, but you're not benefiting from it the
Yes,
most?
sir.
My question was, do you think
Mm.
Jesus had
Mm.
the pass to say the word? Jesus had the pass. Oh, you know what? Let me. No, no.
Grayson, you going to
No,
get
no, no,
Grayson?
no, no, no.
Get him, Grayson. Get him, Grayson.
No, no, it's funny. No, it's
Get him,
funny
Holy.
that he says that. It's funny that
Mm.
he says that because I actually have an article on it that I pulled up. Literally, it was talking about the word Niger in the Bible.
Yes, sir.
I mean, let me no, let me.
Niger. Yes,
I
sir.
hope he stays I hope he stays to listen to this answer. Niger
Listen to the
and
conclusion, Grayson. Don't run
uh
away.
Niger Simeon in the Bible, because yes, they use the term Niger in the Bible. We would say
Mm.
nigger today. I
Yes.
say that for educational purposes.
Yes, sir.
Um, Simeon, also known as Niger, was a prominent prophet and teacher in the early church of Antioch.
Mm-hmm.
So, mentioned in the book of Acts, he was part of the diverse leadership team that commissioned the missionary journeys of Paul and Barnabas. So to answer your question, yes, because Simeon, who was also many scholars say he was Hebrew. He was also called Niger. Niger is Latin for black. In today's world, you put an extra G on it, and they say nigger. In the urban world, we say nigga, right? But so
Yes, sir.
in the urban world, we say nigga, and they say it's a term of endearment or whatever. I'm saying this for educational purposes. So yes, had Jesus had the yes. He had the yes to say the word because he was the word. Jesus was, Jesus was, we would call Jesus a nigger in today's world.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
we would call Jesus a nigger. The racist, racist people would call Jesus a nigger. Okay, racist
Yes,
people,
sir.
if they
Yes, sir.
saw how Jesus looked back then, they would say, "Look at that nigger." So yes,
Yes.
if Jesus was black, he
Yes.
would have turned water into. If let me see, if Jesus was
That's what
black,
I was
he would have.
laughing.
No, no, no. Let's. I hope he stays to. I hope he stays because I love these comments he's making. If Jesus was black, he would have turned water into henny.
Hmm.
Right? If Jesus was black, he would have turned water into henny.
Hmm.
Now, these are caricatures, right? These are characters. These are caricature. These are caricature imageries. Best channel easily. He's funny down there. these are
Yeah,
these are
yeah.
these are these are
He's
look,
rolling
check this out, check
on.
this out. Check this out. These are caricature ideologies that they put. Because me, I don't even drink Hennessy. I'm a
Hmm.
vodka man. I think Jesus would have turned
Hmm.
water. I think he would have turned it into vodka if he was black. That's just me. I think he would have turned it into vodka. He just happened to turn it into wine because there probably wasn't any. It probably wasn't. It probably was some Greeks there. He was like, "Oh, they want some wine." But if he knew
Yeah.
if it was me and him and the disciples, he would have been like, you know what, we finna turn this into vodka, baby.
You feel me? You feel me?
Yeah.
And I
Straight
want to
up.
say, Grayson, I want to respond to your comment earlier. He said he got the N-word pass, and Holy was saying, with the term they added an extra G, and our people we took the ER from the word and we put the A, and guess what, brother Conscious? Well, guess what, brother Conscious said? Brother Conscious right here. Guess what, brother Conscious said? Brother Conscious says, my brother, or big brother. As the brother Conscious said. But I want to jumping back to what you were saying. He probably left. Going back to what I was saying, right? Brother Garvey, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and also Kwame Kumar. They also spoke on black liberation, black nationalism and separation. They spoke on black and separation. Um, all right, let's making sure. I thought you left.
Yeah,
I thought you took it and
bro.
you got up out of here, G.
All right, brother. You got any
Right?
questions for me?
They said no, no. I mean you was going on, and then Gray just jump on, but we was talking about money. I appreciate you, Grayson. You might be one of those. You might be one of those folks, but I appreciate the subscribe, brother. Keep on. Hit the like button, like that, John. Show some support and keep speaking your mess. All right. I appreciate you. Thank you for the one subscriber. You know what I'm saying? You show
Bro, bro.
your Confederate flags are showing right now, brother. But keep on
Well, we
engaging.
we don't we
But
I mean we don't know if we don't know what his ethnic background is. I mean, we don't know what his ethnic background is. We don't know if he's racist. We don't know if he's prejudiced. He may just be a troll who's just having fun online, which I disagree with at some points. But he had some great comments, brother, that I
of
easily
course, I like
addressed.
it.
Like, yeah,
No, I love trolls,
yeah,
yo, because rather than people come on the
yeah,
live and just
yeah.
watch
No,
me not say nothing,
I
I
have.
like
Yeah, he said
supporters.
all. Yeah, he said all jokes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I love the
Of
comments. Like when
course.
he said, "Does Jesus have the N-word pass?" Bro, I love that question.
Yes, yes,
I
yes,
love that. Like,
yes, yes,
oh my
yes.
gosh, that's one of the best questions I've ever heard on
Hmm.
YouTube. Like
Yes.
we
Hey,
could do.
kudos to you. Kudos to you, Gray. Kudos to you,
Yeah,
Grayson.
that was. Hey,
Grayson
that was a
Turner.
great question. Like you can make a whole video off of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, but
Oh
go ahead.
yeah. Hmm. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Grayson, because people, I tell you, people that jump on live and they wouldn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? They stitch sticks. They just, I'm stuttering. They would just stay here and not say nothing, not engage. I like trolls. Like usually when I do my live YouTubes, it just be like trolls on. Yeah, I engage with them. I'm like
Well,
nothing to do. I be having
a
like 12.
troll. A troll is a direct person who they the only reason why they're in the comments is for that reason. That's not he I mean, I look at him as a person who is just making some comments, just joking around. A troll is a person who actually just tries to take it there. There's a different level of troll. For-
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? Leo talks a lot to himself. Leo talk a lot to the trolls. But anyhow, going back to what I was saying though, uh, 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 black nationalism. Nationalism is doing for ourselves economically, being self-sufficient, creating our own everything. Our own everything. Said black and separation. Unlike integrationists of this era, Garvey argued that black people would never achieve true equality or respect in white dominated societies. He advocated for complete autonomy, racial separatism, and the celebration of African cultural heritage. You know what I'm saying? Of Africa. And I
right.
feel like that's a major thing. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear like it's a lot of negative connotation when they're speaking to like Africans and people of African, you know what I'm saying? Like we had this conversation offline. I won't have it online, but it's like a lot of negative when you hear about Africa, like starving children here or do this. Like African is very, very prominent. There's a lot of division in Africa, but Africa is a very, very prominent and resourceful place. Um,
What do we think
I
of
feel like
Black
I'm not trying to
Israelites?
mess
You
with you.
you you you're you're looking at two of them right now, brother.
Hey, hey, Gray. Hey, Gray. I don't even want
I'm
to get
not.
sit
I'm
here and
not. I'm not.
go into
I'm.
that.
I'm not as practical in it anymore like I used to be. But at the same
Mhm.
time, I still have Hebrew ways.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Hebrew birthright. You know what I'm saying? Um, I feel like a lot of the brothers speak on hate. Like speak on hate. It's like
break, break,
not to say
break,
it's
break.
racism, but
Yeah. What? You gotta. You.
black nationalism. That's doing for us
But,
being
but go ahead. But
self-sufficient,
go ahead.
brother.
But go ahead. But go ahead. If you wanna. If you wanna. My bad. If you wanna go off the comment, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to say,
I was. I was.
Grayson.
I
I
was
want to
listening to the Black National. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, black nationalism. Just basically us doing for ourselves, brother. Us creating our community, creating our wealth, creating our economic hub, creating our establishing. You know what I'm saying? Separatism, because that's like segregation was bad. Segregation back in the days was bad. Um, I appreciate you, Grayson. I appreciate you. You keep doing that. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. I'm gonna go back there. I'm gonna go back there because I be having tunnel vision.
Grace.
But going back to what I was saying,
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
like segregation was a great thing because segregation taught us that we had to create hospitals, we had to create our stores, we had to do, and then after when the desegregation law went into effect, we just complete stopped being independent. We just started fighting with each other. When they broke the desegregation clause, it's like we had not saying we had a common enemy, but we had a point to prove that we can be self-sufficient, we can be independent, we can do for ourselves. But after they break that and we was allowed to go to their schools and their shops and so forth, then it was like we no longer striving to be financially independent. We ain't striving no more to build, create, to do more. When we had to back in the days, like I said, can I talk to you again about the Montgomery bus, the bus boycott back in the
Yeah.
days?
Yeah. Can I interject real quick?
Go ahead, brother.
Okay. So there. So basically, when you say black nationalism, right? Like when you say we, as far as black nationalism, who you talking about? All black melanated people in the world?
Huh?
Are you talking about all black melanated? Are you talking about all melanated people in the world,
Yes,
brother?
sir.
What's going on, man?
I'm letting you talk, and I'm right back on the money, brother. Yes, all over
Yeah,
the world, brother. All over the world.
all over the
All over
world.
the
Okay,
world, in the
so
four corners of the
so
earth,
we
brother,
can't.
in the
So
diaspora.
I I feel where you coming from, but as far as like what I believe, as far as integration and segregation, I believe when those Black American people were doing that, I believe when those black American people were doing that right there, it allowed not only did it allow a lot of laws to change, but it also allowed many black immigrants to come to America when those laws began to change because they weren't letting immigrants in like that. I don't think so. Not too many melanated. When I say melanated, I mean Indian, Asian, black. They weren't letting a whole lot of. So the Civil Rights Act, I mean, it has its pros and cons, but it opened the door for a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Civil rights is when you make a distinction of culture,
Mm-hmm.
that is definitely like you have African culture, then you have Black American culture,
Mm-hmm.
you have culture in South
Mm-hmm.
America. The main culture of the people that were in Black America was the civil rights movement to make sure that everybody was had a certain level of equality. Now, how they did it, it was pros and cons of how they did it because I believe the cons were and it just should have been focusing on more so equal pay or equal treatment and just being left alone to build and structure a society where a lot of our brothers from other countries could come in and really thrive in the diaspora. You know what I'm saying? The diaspora. The way it's supposed to be. Instead of coming over here and really like I was talking about how those Africans that I was talking to before from the Yoruba tribe
Mm-hmm.
came
Mm-hmm.
over here, they was treating me like a second class citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I was treating them like brothers, and they was treating me like I was from a different tribe because I am in their mind. You know what I'm saying? So we whites have different types of whites we like and don't like. Different types of Europeans. All the French are. Do Africans have a group of people in Africa who you all think is lame? Do all people have a different? Did you pin his comment?
He basically, yeah, the other one. He said, intellectual black excellence. That was great. I like that comment. I appreciate them for that. You talking about the French? I wanted to say a little side note. Brother Grayson. I think there's a crack a joke too with a French lady. We want to let you finish. Holy, I forget. Um, I had a coworker. She was European as well. I think she was Irish or something like that. And I tell her again, the French and the baguettes and the we. That was a good thing in terms of lame lame, like a culture. I said lame. I don't. Uh, I don't
No,
like
we
who I
have to
consider
break.
like. Go ahead,
Remember
brother. Go
when
ahead.
we.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. I'm
I mean,
listening.
if
I'm
I
listening.
can,
You got the
if I
mic.
can, if I can answer this. I can answer this right. So many black. We have certain feelings about Germans and French and Russians. Okay, so the thing about it is, the thing about it is with black people, right? This is how I view certain things. Let me answer your first question. So the many the
Typing too
many the
fast,
many
Grayson. Chill out.
yeah the many things as far as like, do we look at any culture as any black people as lame or whatnot? First of all, let's go to the root. Let's go to the original people and where everybody came out of, right? According to science, the original people were heavy melanated, which where all people came out of, with Caucasian
Mm-hmm.
people, Asian people. Let's start there. So
Mm-hmm.
if we start with that right there, then we start to see different attributes and different land masses and different phenotypes for different land regions and different places of that nature. So me personally, I don't have a different sector of people that I don't like, but not just black people, any people. I don't have a different set of people that I don't like on the earth in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you are white, I'm not gonna dislike
Mm-hmm.
you. I'm not gonna dislike you because you're white by itself,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
your ethnic group is white. You know, Now
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna deny historical fallacy, within European structure and how colonialism happened and stuff like that. But at the same time, in general, I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to look at a people and say whether they're, low level or lame or whatever. That's any type of people. You know what I'm saying? But especially melanated people. I would not look at any melanated person as, now if they look at me, you know what? If I had to name one, it'll be the people that disrespected me the most. And those were people from the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria, right? But I'm not going to call them lame. I'm going to say that they were less brotherly to me, even when I was brotherly to them. I'll leave that right there. That'll be my answer to you. You know, Ethiopia. I don't really. I'm not really. In tuned with a lot of African countries. But anyway,
Yes, I want
yeah.
to say, um, I and I'm gonna say I second a holy notion. Not because we sit here speaking on black unity or black liberation right now, that doesn't mean we're anti-white. Because I know when I hear a lot of people speaking on a cultural standpoint and they speaking this on blackness, they automatically think like, oh, this guy is preaching racism, he's separatism or so forth. That's not the case.
Right.
What I want to do is I'm trying to highlight the culture. I'm trying to highlight the struggles. I'm trying to highlight the resilience of
Yeah.
people like us. They're seeing hate.
Well.
I'm not teaching hate. I'm
Yeah.
just highlighting.
Yeah, that's true. Ethiopia was called Africa at one point, if I'm not mistaken. So I get what you're saying. What you saying, brother? Though.
mm, Oh, no, no, no. He's saying no, no. He's talking about Ethiopian. I forgot. He was saying something, but I not to highlight nothing. I have nothing against no one, no race, no creed, or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? My problem would be with you if I see you like openly. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm a father. I'm a father. I'm speaking from a biblical point. A biblical point. Love is love. Love is love. You know what I'm saying? I believe the old saying. I give you kindness with kindness, and I give you malice with malice. That's just how I operate. Kindness and kindness and malice and malice. You never have no reason, and you never give me a reason to whereas I have to be in a situation with defending myself and defending my children. Me and you, we okay. We a-okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe in our good old El Haj Malik Shabazz, aka Malcolm X, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. You feel me? By any means necessary. But other than that, I have no hatred towards nobody. I wish that. I
Yeah,
wish that.
yeah. I have no hatred towards people either. None.
Yes, sir. So don't
Yeah, we
listen.
have
We
no
speaking on
hatred.
black culture, black unity. You try to the twist it or the think that's nah. I'm just thinking. I'm
What
love.
he
It's
he
love. It's
he
culture.
he
It's
he,
education.
he might not be twisting it now. We can't we can't be prejudiced against his comments. I don't know if he's trying to twist it or
Yes.
not, but we can.
No, no.
I
But
don't.
I'm just trying to. I'm trying to answer the whole square. Now, would you say who I consider as lame? This is what I consider as lame, right? This is what I consider as lame. People that look like me and they come on this internet and they talk smack about people that look like us. You know what I'm saying? Degrade and put down. Those I consider as being lames. Like, I don't know if you watch
No,
the
no.
Boondocks.
Please don't.
You know.
Oh, I
All
thought you
right.
about to say somebody's name. I thought you about to say somebody's actual name.
No, 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 no,
'Cause
no,
I,
no,
I don't
no,
want
no.
no. I
And the
don't
guy
want
with
no,
the
no
guy with the lazy
Uncle
eyes. You
Uncle
feel me? Like
Ruckus.
people.
Uncle
Yes,
Ruckus.
sir. Yes, sir. Those are people like that is who I consider as being lame. Like you try to, and it's you could date who you want to date. You can date whoever you want to date. You know what I'm saying? But don't put down. You know what I'm saying? Our women put down our women to put your lady on the pedestal. You could date who you want to date. You can love who
Yeah,
you want to love. Don't put
yeah,
down in the
exactly.
process.
But
That's who I
but
consider as
see,
being lame.
but
That's lame to me.
but his question, was distinct. I like the way you answered that. At the same time, his question was
Yes.
very distinct. He was talking about an ethnic group of people. What ethnic group of
No, but he's
people?
talking about. He's speaking about black people, like a black country.
No,
He's
no,
talking
no,
about a black
no. Yeah,
country.
yeah, he was.
But he's
Yeah,
talking
he
about.
was. Yeah, he was. And I gave my answer, but I didn't say lame. But my answer was
Mm,
people from the. My answer was people from the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria. But I'm not gonna call them lame. I'm gonna say that I had the worst experience with African people from the Yoruba tribe treating me like a second class
mm-hmm.
person in the same city where I was born and raised here in America. But I'm not gonna call
Mm-hmm.
them lame because I haven't met all of them. Those specific ones though, that they was treating me like they was treating me in an underclass way, almost how almost like how a lot of Hispanics treat black people. You, but you can't really feel that hatred that a lot of Hispanics have for blacks, like I've felt before. And it's not, but a lot of Hispanics have that certain
Mm-hmm.
hatred for black people, and that it was on the cusp of that with those
Mm-hmm.
Nigerians from the Yoruba tribe. And I hate to say
Mm-hmm.
that, but it's true. But I'm not talking about Nigeria as a whole. But that was a
Mm-hmm.
good question, you know what I'm saying? But that brotherly love is important. I'm only asking because of Argentina right now. Seems like South Americans are reveling in the world knowing they are racist now. Man, let me tell you something. It's funny he say that because I just said Hispanic, right? I ain't even read his
Mm-hmm.
comment, but I said something about Hispanics,
Mm-hmm.
which lets you
Mm-hmm.
know, I felt racism right here in America from Hispanics. You could feel it
Right.
without even saying anything.
Right.
I was driving trucks
Right.
and I went to El Paso. And El Paso got a large Hispanic population. You could feel it. You could feel it. You could feel it, man. They don't even want to marry. A lot of them don't even want to marry heavy melanated brothers. But that's fine. I mean, but it's a lot of heavy
One
melanated
one
brothers
one
in their country.
one one second. I want to give a shout out to a lady that's like Sister Betty. Sister Betty was born in El Paso. I'll let you continue, brother. A lady who
No
I
doubt.
consider being like
So
Sister Betty was born
no
in El
doubt. So
Paso.
so he was saying. So I was wondering if there was an African equivalent. Like for it's that's
Mm-hmm.
you would have to ask every individual black person for that. Because as a whole, I don't think black people think like that as a whole. We don't. We have different groups that think like that, but as a whole, we don't think like that.
Yeah.
I don't think white people think like that as a whole either. You can
Mm-hmm.
see the distinctions.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell the difference between an
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopian and me. You can tell the difference between, but a lot of the people from the Caribbeans look like many black Americans because it's around the same sector, the same, it's around the same area. Or they was,
Mm-hmm.
either a lot of them was indigenous there because a lot of indigenous people were already here in America and they were black and they looked like my brother
Mm-hmm.
right here. You know what I'm saying? Only reason, what you talking about? What you looking like that for?
I want to take offense there. I want to take offense, but I couldn't. I couldn't. I was trying to put on the show. I
What are you
wanted to
talking
put
about?
on the show, brother. Putting on the show. I
Oh,
wanted to put
I'm
on
about
the
to
show.
say,
The,
man.
the show.
I
A
said
friend of mine.
a lot of our indigenous people
What that supposed to
that
mean?
was
What's supposed to
that
mean,
was
brother?
brother. What are you talking about? Stop playing, man. I'm serious, bro. Stop. Man. What you talking about? I'm talking about indigenous people. What are you
No,
talking about?
exactly. So why you putting emphasis on it? You know I'm playing around. So why you putting emphasis on
What are
it?
you talking about?
You said a lot of melanated. You was like, why you looking like that? Why you putting? You know, playing around. Let it go.
Yeah, indigenous people, heavy melanated people that look like my brother right here, the original people where everybody came out of. So whether Yoruba tribe races against you because of your appearance or because of nationalism and xenophobia against people not from their country. See, I don't think it was xenophobia. I just think it was favoritism. Favoritism. That's the tism that you're looking for. The ism. You're looking for favoritism because th- you're looking for favoritism because in a lot of African places there's tribalism. Just like in America, you
Mm-hmm.
have upper class, middle class, you have different social classes, and then you have your racism and your
Mm-hmm.
prejudice. But really, when you're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with economics, you have upper class, lower class, middle class, this class, that class. You have different
Mm-hmm.
focuses, but for them, it was favoritism. It wasn't racism. It was
Mm-hmm.
literal tribalism, literal
Yes.
against
Yes. Yes.
somebody against.
Yes.
But I'm gonna tell you the favoritism that I'm talking about since you asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
I was working at a foundry where I'm from, and one of the supervisors were from the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria. One of the other people I guess they was related to him. and we were supposed to switch off jobs because one job was harder than the other. And we're supposed to switch. You know what the other guy told me when it was time to switch? My hand hurts. That's what he told me. So it was favoritism. It wasn't racism. It wasn't xenophobia. It was favoritism because of they looked at me at a certain class. Classism. Is it classism? It wasn't. It wasn't colorism because there was people in the Yoruba tribe that looked like me, same complexion. So it
Mm-hmm.
was literal. It was
Mm-hmm.
literal tribalism. Tribalism
Mm-hmm.
had nothing to do with, yeah. But anyway,
Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
brother, I
man.
wanted to
So
say, bring it home, brother. Let's bring it home. Bring it
let's bring
home.
it in. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna bring it in like this. Why is Africa the most resourceful continent, but is not controlled by the vast majority? I think you answered that question. So
Yes, sir.
how did so
Colonialism, colonialism, imperialism,
got you.
racism,
So y- the question is here:
Mormonism.
how did European Christianity how was European Christianity used to colonize Africa?
How
I
was it
have the
used?
answer. I have the answer right here. Huh.
Okay. I was
I
just about
think
to go on a rant. I was about to go on a rant, brother.
I'm listening to you. Go ahead, because it's very important that we
I say my
go
rant
ahead. I'm listening
is,
to you.
what my rant is simple. Give them a folkry or more. Give them a belief system that favor the predator. You understand? Break them culturally. Divide and conquer. Teach them that they could be equal to their own peers, but they be inferior to the ones that looks like their creator. You understand? Give them a false culture, indoctrinate them, and teach and hand them like what's that again? The carrot and the stick. You put the carrot in the front of the stick. Like you get the horse running after the stick, and you like you almost gonna get it. You dig what I'm saying? But basically, separate them, put them on amongst each other. Give them a false indoctrination. Teach them
Yeah,
they're saviors. They saviors look like they're oppressors. Um, and then
yeah.
again, pit them on against each other.
Let me.
You dig? Pit them against
So
each other.
if I can dig into this article that I just pulled up, uh,
Mm-hmm.
because I like to dig deeper into the facts and kind of like bring them forth. Black
Yes,
Agenda
sir.
Report. This is from the blackagendareport.com. African congregations deeply rooted in values such as family cohesion and the teachings of early African Christian missionaries
Mm.
expressed strong opposition
Mm-hmm.
to the decision. In response, the entire UMC branch in Ivory Coast, representing nearly 1 million members, announced its departure from the denomination, a move that received scant attention in American UMC media. Now, other African branches of the UMC, South Africa, the Republic of Congo, DRC, Zimbabwe, Ghana, and
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria are contemplating similar actions, though financial constraints, as most funding comes from the US. And the UMC's power structures pose significant challenges to their potential exits. You know what I just learned from this article? I got to pin this article. Do you know what I just learned from this article right
Yes,
here?
sir.
That
What?
it was it was financial. It was a
Mm-hmm.
it was a financial approach that was used
Mm-hmm.
systemically to control the
Okay.
masses of African people,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I don't know how close this is to financial litigation, but
Okay.
if you look at financial litigation, it involves high stakes disputes between financial institutions, consumers, or regulators regarding banking practices, securities, and debt. These cases typically cover consumer protection class actions, white collar fraud, and regulatory enforcement probes, often requiring alternative settlements to mitigate reputational risk. Now, it's not closely into to those type of regulations and stuff like that. But if you look at money in general, it's going into the banks.
Mm-hmm.
US is beginning
Mm-hmm.
the you I don't understand how in the hell the US has to fund Africa. I don't understand it at all. I just don't get it. Meaning, this is what I mean. They the African people didn't want to change a lot of the African early ways, but because of US, because of the US financial resource, I'm like, y'all got resources that y'all can utilize right now to sell to America. But you have to gain massive control. That's it. I'm done.
Mm. You see that? You got the problem and the solution all in one. There we go. There we go. The problem and
Yep.
solution all in one, brother.
The what, the why,
Mm-hmm.
and the how. The what, the why, and the how.
Yes, sir.
The stats, the
Mm-hmm.
references, the facts and questions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There we go. There we
No
go.
doubt. All
There
right.
we go.
That's it, man. You close out, bro. I'm done.
All right. Bow your head and let me take you in prayer. All right. Grayson, you still with me, Grayson? Hit any letter. Let me know you still in here, Grayson, because I got to pray for you, brother.
He said, thank you, God.
Thank you. I appreciate Grace. But I know they say Grace, and I know what you probably misinterpret. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how you think. I can't think for you. Sometimes I try to think for Holy, and Holy correct me every single time. But I still continue to think for him sometimes, though.
No,
Right?
you don't think for me. You assume what I'm thinking. There's a difference.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, family. This ain't
No,
nothing.
no.
This ain't nothing but the truth. My brother,
Yeah.
I scratch on a surface level. My brother right here, he goes in much into depth. He goes much into depth. It's something we definitely both passionate about. And I said, this is educational. This is all
Yeah.
educational. There ain't no hate, nothing. It's
Well,
educational. I
yeah,
appreciate you for coming
yeah.
to Grayson.
This is all educational. And Grayson, if you're genuine about your comments you just made, thanks for coming in, brother.
Yes, sir. Hey, I don't know if you subscribe for real. Hit that like button, Gray Gray. I'm gonna call you Gray Gray. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We got every day. You come in here and you control as much as you want. You could talk about, you know what I'm saying? I want to say, you got some water. I can make some henny. I can make some yak. Some people, some black folks call henny yak. I can make some yak from you. You hear me? So that go what I was saying. But like I said again, this is Brothers in America. This is Brothers in America. This is Brother Leo, Brother Conscious. That's co-host, Holy Water right here. We ain't here to win ya. No hate, no hatred, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's all love, Gray. I appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing, brother. This is Brother Leo, Brother
Yeah.
Conscious, Brother Holy. Anything to say before I close it out, brother?
No, that's all, man. We're here to educate. We're here to educate the masses, and we are here we are here to liberate and to gain the resources back, just so we can build up a certain cultural foundation to develop away from the stigma of the black masses. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. The black masses, the masses, majority. Okay, okay.
Yeah, the black masses, man. The
All
majority,
right, gotcha.
the black, all the black people
Mm-hmm. There we go.
who
Okay,
want
okay.
to be
So
a
you be
part,
telling the minorities, but in your time,
who want to be a part of development. Good night. Wish you the best. All
me,
right.
I just want to listen. Me, I just want to do hood. I just trying to do hood rat stuff. You know, what I'm saying? Sit on the block and hit around and drink yak all day. You feel me?
You funny.
But family, the brother Leo, brother Conscious, Grayson, I thank you for coming through, man. Thank you for showing love. Thank you for keeping the comments rolling. Thank you for asking the questions. Thank you for engaging, brother. Thank you for engaging. I appreciate y'all, brother Leo, brother Conscious, says holy water with a side of green. We out family. Oh, I'll be joining us again on Friday afternoon at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. You know, be there. Peace and blessings, family. Wish you the best too, Grayson.